Welcome, everyone. Live from London. We are here live for Friday's Inspiration. Welcome to the energy of balance. Tonight, we're going to be talking, or it's tonight for me, or this evening, we're going to be talking about the energy of balance and how important that is in our lives today. There's three areas that I want to talk about with regards to balance. So, one is balancing our masculine and feminine energies. And then two is the energy of giving and receiving, which is also very similar to these energies. And then the third is all about how we can make our week breathe and having balance in that area. So that's a really, really good one. So, how is everyone doing? Where are we calling in from? Are you feeling the energies of the summer solstice? We're in that 3-day window. Of course, summer solstice just passed a few days ago, so we're still in that energy of the summer solstice. And let's see who we have in the house with us. Joan, good to have you here. Selma from New York, and Roma's in London, of course, with me. Danya from France, good to have you. Andrea, I think you're in Seattle. Excellent. So as more of you are joining in, it's great to hear where you're calling in from. So the energies of balance have any of you been feeling like a little burned out, like you're just giving way too much and your life feels really out of balance? We're great givers, right? And so if we don't know how to balance that out, with receiving, we're going to feel a little off kilter. New York and Ontario, great to have you guys in the house. Good. So with regards to this energies of the masculine and feminine energy, that's what I wanted to talk about first. There seems to be a big shift that's happening right now with regards to the masculine and feminine energies. For a long time, patriarchy has been the rule, and that's what's been the ruling force over even humanity for the most part. And then there was that whole women's stepping into their power, women's rights, and so forth. And then the pendulum swung like completely in the other direction, except that it wasn't women power, it was women putting on that male energy. And so there was that big pendulum swing. And now we're starting to come back into more of a stasis of stepping into this powerful feminine energy that is operating from the heart. It's not operating from that masculine, powerful solar plexus, that driving, pushing, forcing kind of energy. It's an outward energy. So the feminine energy, and I want to make a differentiation between what this feminine energy is and females. So a lot of people I've noticed, like when I'm doing clearings, is that they're afraid to step into their feminine energy because one, like if they're a male, they think that might make them too girly like. And for a lot of women, they have this misconception that the feminine is a weak energy. So if you've had any women in your life or mothers that have been abused or taken advantage of, then that's your concept of what female energy is, or the feminine energy. And that's completely not what I'm talking about. So the feminine energy is not a weak energy at all. It's a very, very powerful energy. It's the energy of heart. And so in this heart, we have two really powerful things going on. One, we have this ability to self-generate love. So that in and of itself is huge because when I say they, most of you know who I'm talking about, this outer influence that's controlling the planet. I call it the 1%. But they have been pushing down this heart energy because they operate without any heart. And so anything that has to do with the heart, they want to push it down. So feminine energy. And so they also want to keep us in this energy of always looking on the outside for love. That, if we want to be in love or have a partnership, that we always have to go outside and find that love to feel loved. So that's actually, that can be true, but where love really starts is right here in the heart. So when we self-generate love, we fill our hearts full and overflowing, and then that becomes the magnet to what we want to attract in our life. Then we bring into our lives and attract another very big full heart. So when two full hearts meet together, the synergy there is very, very powerful. So that feminine heart energy helps us to self-generate love. And then the other powerful thing that this heart feminine energy does is it helps us to access our infinite intelligence, that deep inner knowing that many of you have been killed lifetime after lifetime. And so that makes you afraid to want to step into this powerful energy. And at the same time, this powerful feminine energy is being called forth now in this time period because of how important it is. So just want to make that differentiation that feminine energy is very different than female energy. So the feminine energy, that inward heart energy, and the ability to self-generate love, very different than women who are putting on the man coats and operating like men. That's not what we're talking about. And so stepping out of this role can be a big challenge for a lot of women. And this one of the energies that would involve to try and make this transition is giving up the energy of control. So when we give up the energy of control, we actually open up so many more opportunities. And this is going to also come into play with this giving and receiving that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But when we give up this control, then we are more open to allowing and to receiving. But I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So feminine, balancing masculine and feminine energy. So the masculine energy is also very different than what most people think about when they think about male energy or men behaving badly, or that powerful force that is mostly men ruling the planet. That makes people averse to masculine energy. So the masculine energy that I'm talking about is the energy of the mind. So when most people think of the mind, they think of the brain, that it's up here in your brain, but it's really not. The mind is actually in every cell in your body. The mind, masculine energy, is an outward energy. It gets stuff done. So really important to have both of these energies balanced, and so that we can both be in that outward energy of getting stuff done, but that we also activate our feminine magnet that is just open and ready to receive and to allow all of that receiving. So in our MediClearing today, that's one of the things we're going to be doing, is we're going to be clearing and balancing these masculine and feminine energies. So as I measure it now, for those of you who are on the call, and this would even apply to those of you who listen to this out into the future, we're going to measure what is this balance of masculine and feminine energy for those of you who are on. So right now, the feminine energy is at about 15%, so not very big. The more you're in your feminine energy also, besides being in that heart energy, is also you're going to be more intuitive. So a lot of you have been asking about, well, how do I activate my intuition, that deep inner knowing? How do I know? How do I get my answers and information? So the more feminine energy you have, and we're going to bring it all the way up to 100, the more your intuition is going to be like second nature. So we're going to bring that feminine energy up to 100%. Let's measure the masculine energy. 95%. So I trust that the majority of the people on the call right now are women. So you're great givers. You know how to get the stuff done. We're really good at that, multitasking and all of that. But we're going to balance these two so that they're both at 100%. That would be balanced. 50-50 is not balanced. It is balanced, but it's only operating at half the capacity. So we're going to bring it all the way up to 100%. Another aspect to this that's very similar is this energy of giving and receiving. So having balance in both giving and receiving. So women are great givers, right? That's that. It's easy to give because one, we're in control. So when I was talking about giving up control, this is part of what I'm talking about. So when we are giving, so this is going to tell you a little bit about the difference between give and take and give and receive. So you're great givers, you know how to give, and we're great at that. But can you allow yourself to receive? So give and take sounds very similar to give and receive, but they're actually very different. So when we're giving, we're in control. And when we're taking, we're in control. We know who we're taking from, how much, when, etc., etc. When we allow ourselves to receive, we don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know how much and from whom. And we have to surrender and allow the receiving to happen. So that's how they're very different. So we give with this outward masculine energy in this right arm, and we allow the receiving to happen in our left receiving hand. So many of you are blaming other people for not giving to you. Like you give, and then you're mad at the other person for them not giving to you. It's like, I give you so much, but I get nothing back. Chances are it has nothing to do with that other person. In fact, I can almost guarantee that has nothing to do with this other person. It has to do with you blocking your receiving channel, that left hand. So when we start taking 100% accountability for everything we create, including how much and what we're receiving, then we can start to change this paradigm and what we are actually receiving in our lives. How many of you would claim that that role of being a great giver, but have a hard time receiving? We have any of you out there like that? It's really common. So now you know the difference between give and take, which is both in control, and give and receive. So receiving means that you're going to allow more of that surrender. So we're going to balance those two energies with this clearing that we're going to do in a minute. One other thing that I wanted to talk about, which is all about balancing with this solstice energy. Here we have both the longest day in the northern hemisphere, I think I have this right, and the shortest day in the southern hemisphere. So I know here in London, days very long. It's already after 7 here and almost 7:30, and still plenty light out. So this is these days is the balance of the 2 points. That doesn't make sense though, because if it's balanced, then there would be equal long days and short days. Summer solstice is a balancing point. I do know that. I think I've got it wrong about the daytime and nighttime though. At any rate, the one other thing I wanted to talk about was how to let your week breathe. So this is really important when we think about rhythms and breathing in and out. There's always that yin yang energy and rhythms. So when we're breathing, we can't always be having an outward breath. We have to take that inward breath. Can't always be daytime. And nighttime balances it, just like uh, summer is balanced with winter. So really important to keep all of these energies in balance. So when we have our week, we can't just keep giving all week. Some of you work through the weekend and you have very little time that you actually give to yourself and allow yourself to replenish. At night is when our brain has a washing, so to speak, and it completely replenishes, as well as so many of the other parts, body parts. Really great opportunity to replenish ourselves. So in this energy of allowing our week to breathe, this is how I do it, what I think is a really great way, so that you're making sure that you're taking care of yourself, but you actually get a lot done during the week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are big full weeks for me, or days for me. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, like today, is the off ramp into the weekend, where generally I don't work on the weekends. Saturday and Sunday is a great day to take days off, replenish, go inward, get out in nature. Super important as a way to replenish. And then Monday is like the on ramp to the week. Maybe you have a way of scheduling things or making sure your week is planned out. Some people like to do that. But anyway, you get yourself ready for your full days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so that's how the week breathes. Big full days, and then the weekend where you go inward and replenish. So super important to have this balance. I'm a Libra, so I love everything about balance. Let's see what we have. Excuse me. It used to be harder in the past to receive, especially compliments. It's easier now. That's really a very true and very common statement. I would say that I had struggled with that for a long time. Like, people would give me a comment or a compliment, and it's like, oh, no, not really. That can't be true. Or, no, I'm having a bad day, or whatever it is. And so learning how to take compliments, really important. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, Tanya. So for those of you who would like to know what is your balance in a lot of areas of your life, so masculine and feminine are just some of these energies. The masculine and feminine energies, the vibrational altitude report is a great way where I will measure more than 50 different calibrations. So you can see how much anger or fear you have. Are there people courting to you, siphoning off your energies? Do you have maybe some discarnate beings that are trying to work out their past life stuff with you? Or maybe you have low money vibration, but you're not sure. Or you have fear entities, or maybe you're in the energy of the martyr. All of these energies can be calibrated so that you can know where you are on this vibrational scale. And this report that is up here, is that the one? Yes. Also comes with a 30-minute conversation where I can answer all your questions about the report, but I can recheck if you took the opportunity to see what you could clear on your own with your gifts, your tools. So a lot of you are very gifted healers out here, but you don't have a way of measuring or calibrating and determining kind of where you're at, or if you were even able to clear all of the energies. I talked to a lot of people, a lot of healers who maybe think one thing or the other. Maybe they think they're even grounded, or they think that they cleared something, and there's still some of those energies. So stuff that gets in our blind spots gets hard to see. And so when you can have that second set of eyes, it's really helpful to be able to get some feedback about where you're at. So in this 30-minute conversation, I can recheck and see what's left and see what you were able to clear on your own. And for those of you who don't know how to clear any of this stuff, that's totally fine too. Because I'll give some suggestions in there on how some potential possibilities of working together so that you can start operating from your highest calibrations, your highest frequencies. That's where all the magic lives. That's where all your dreams and desires already exist. Let's see what other comments or questions you guys might have before we go ahead and go into our clearing. I struggle with taking instead of being in the surrender of receiving. I struggle with taking. It sounds like you're kind of in both in those energies of surrendering into the receiving is definitely the harder part of it, right? It's easy to give. That's when you're in control. So receiving is definitely the hard part. Andrea, my ex would be so annoyed with me and not taking compliments well. Sometimes our partners are a mirror for some of the energies that we're even holding too. So, and definitely a sign that his circle of reciprocity, this right arm and left arm, was no doubt blocked as well. All right. Sounds like we're ready and set to go. No more questions with giving and receiving. So hopefully you'll all be open to receiving what I'm about to give here. So this is my gift, my offering that I love giving. And because I know that there's some of you that are new to me. And so this is a great way to introduce you to what I do. And so please like, share, subscribe to this channel, whether it's on YouTube, and click those bell notifications so that you get notified when we go live. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start with the process called running your energy. So this is a process that's outlined in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, available on Amazon. So that whole scale and system is outlined in this book. So that's what we're going to be walking you through today. And we're going to start with getting ultra grounded. So the first three parts are mentioned in the book. And we are going to also include a fourth part. So that's the beauty of this system, is that it's always growing, changing, morphing, just like all of you should be. So let's start with getting ultra grounded. And we're going to imagine a big pipe, a big line of energy going from the base of your spine all the way to the center of the earth. And this is going to carry away all of the energies that aren't yours, most of which the energies that you think and feel are not your energies. And so that's nice and connected now. So now you're going to imagine big roots going down from the bottoms of your feet deep into the earth. It's going to wrap around the entire planet as it intermingles through the entire root system around the planet. This is where we find pure darkness, very transformative energy, highly intelligent communication layer. We're going to start bringing this earth, abundant earth energy, feminine energy, up through the legs. So this is another way that you can help to amplify your feminine energy, is making sure that this energy that's coming up through the legs is clear, going all the way up through your legs, your knees, your thighs. And then when it gets to the top of your leg, it's going to go down your grounding cord. So up your legs, down your grounding. Let's see if you have a worry circle. That's the circle of energy that radiates around that root chakra. Today, it's out to that third layer. So this is where you're holding all the worry, stress, anxiety, doubts, fears, uncertainty. As we just imagine this circle getting smaller and smaller, closing down. As we dump all of those energies down the grounding cord. Here we go. Yes. Okay, great. And then the fourth part to getting ultra grounded is we're going to ground that feminine heart energy. So many of you are holding a lot of judgments in your heart. That's one of the reasons why it's hard to access this feminine energy. So we are first going to make sure that it's 100% open. It is, so we're good there. A lot of big hearts here. So now we're going to imagine that this heart has this line of energy. We're just going to start bringing this energy down through the central core of our body as it comes down into the solar plexus, right at our solar plexus, above that belly button there, below the rib cage. It's congested out to the third layer. So this is where your heart feels powerless to get grounded. There is a control being right in that solar plexus. So let's imagine a black flame right in the solar plexus that can transmute this big block. It's like a big stop sign. Oi moya a naiki nupui uya na maye amaka atu moyo. Ia naiki a baya naka pupunia a baya. There we go. So as we're bringing that heart energy down through the solar plexus, down into the second chakra. The second chakra, it's stopping right there, out to that third layer. And this is where you're holding a lot of anger and rage. This is what a lot of women are using as, or people in general, but mostly women on this call, as their fuel source. And this actually blocks your masculine energy from really operating and getting stuff done. So we're just going to drop all this anger down your grounding. Anger is great if you're using it to move a mountain, but unfortunately, most of you are just using it as your default energy. So we're just dropping all that down the grounding cord. Okay, great. So as this heart energy is coming down through the second chakra, spilling down the root, now you're ultra grounded. So take a deep breath into this energy. Really anchor this energy into the earth. Okay, great. Now we're going to place our attention far above our heads, above all of our creative rings. And we're going to start bringing this energy down through, bringing pure source down through all of our creative rings. Even if you don't know how many we have, we've recently broken through 100 rings above our head so that it now goes off to infinite possibilities. The same will happen with there's matching rooms in our heart. And so we want to have as many rings above our crown as we do in our heart, and then have those connected. So we're going to make sure we do that today as well. But first, we're bringing this pure source energy down through the creative rings into the crown where it's stopping, out to that third layer. So this is where we struggle with this being sovereign. Right now, there is a control being right at the top of your crown. So let's use a black flame right there. I'm going to transmute that energy just with your free imagination. That's how this quantum energy works. So we're just going to use this frequency with our imagination so that this control being can no longer attach at your crown. Okay, there's still some energy there. Still working the control energy. So hopefully that you come here and practice these tools yourself, as opposed to just coming here and getting your energy cleared. Because otherwise you'll never learn how to master your energy that way if you always have other people doing it for you. So really important for you to give it your best shot here. We're all doing this together with this black flame. So there's about 5 of these control beings up here. So let's use a bigger, blacker flame. If there's such thing as a blacker flame. And this energy goes all the way out to the 15th layer. That's that 1% energy. Get a drink here. All right. Moya a maya ti a pai kumuyo. Ina tia make a maya topuye na ye ka. Okay, let's see if we can bring pure source down through that crown. Something's still there. Okay, very stubborn control being. So we're down to 3 of them. Oi mai tia mako opoye. Ia na ye kinata a pai na puku moye a meata akea. Okay, let's see if that got it. 7. No. All right. Got to bring in the big guns here. So the control beings are out. There's also some watcher energy up here. So let's use a rainbow flame. This goes all the way out to that 50th layer, where the watcher energy that's trying to prevent this 40th layer of oneness from expanding. So use that rainbow flame right in that 6th chakra. So that 6th chakra has to do with all of our beliefs and what we think. And what we think about is what we create, what we manifest. What we think about the most often for the longest duration with the greatest intensity. And this 1% uses these beings, these entities, to implant beliefs, thoughts that we think that are not ours. Maybe you had a day where you just felt sort of fatalistic and like, what's the point? Not your thoughts. So we're going to use this rainbow flame up here in this 6th chakra. Oi mai te amaku puyo. Unai ia mai ke na ti ai po moyo. Ia nata ai ke po mai ke mi tu pu unai. There we go. Finally, that was some stubborn energy. All right, so let's bring this pure source now down through that 6, down into the throat, down into the heart where it's stopping, out to that 3rd layer, trying to disconnect that power from our heart, feminine heart energy. All right, So we're going to use another black flame. There's more control beings in here. Also the watcher energy. So I'm just getting a jump on this one. Use the rainbow flame as well. And we're also going to use an emerald flame. So we have a black flame, rainbow flame, emerald flame. The emerald flame relates to sexual abuse energy and like ritual abuse, which a lot of women have they're holding a lot of these judgments right in their heart, because when these things happen, it creates so much self-loathing that it's a lot. Yeah, so this is why it's hard to access this feminine energy. So I'm glad you're all here today, participating in this energy. Oye na mia poyo tu mukia a paye na ti ke maye oyo no tu pu ui a maye ti na ki oye na paya a mia tu poyo kumo aye. Let's see if we can bring this pure source energy down through the heart. Not yet. So we're going to let pure source stir in here. There's more of this watcher energy, so use that rainbow flame. All with your free imagination. O moya ayena tia make opoyo no tupuye inaye amaye ke no tupa ayenata ke I meata piena ke un puyo penaye a kaya. Okay, good. I got it. So now we're bringing this pure source energy down through the heart, letting that stir in there, bringing it down into the solar plexus where it's stopping again, out to that third layer, which is like a big stop sign. So this is also going to block our masculine energy from really flowing. Maybe you're using that anger instead of your passion. And they are measurably different. So these are both of the energies I measure in this report. So you can know if you're someone who says, oh, I'm just operating in my passion, then you'll know for sure. Okay, so here in the solar plexus, more fear entities. Actually, we haven't cleared any fear entities yet. Still going to use a black flame. Control beings, also a black flame. And then also that emerald flame. Ya nata aye pia no puyo. Ia natia kaye ia mai tia. Aye na e a maya. Puyo no kukia ma titia na te a kea. Oya ma puyo kumu ye tia na ye. Apa ya to tu puyo. Okay, good. As we're bringing this pure source down through the solar plexus. There we go. Into second chakra. Excellent. Spilling down the root. So now we're vertical. Take a deep breath into this vertical alignment, connected way up high to pure source, rooted deeply into our Mother Earth. Great. Now we're going to mix these two energies, bringing that 50-50 mixture up the front, real close to the spine. Up through that second chakra, solar plexus. Up into the heart. Great job. Into the throat. Sixth chakra, crown, rings. aura. Let that fountain down through all the layers of your aura. Let's pay special attention to the third layer, starting at the top. Okay, great. Starting at the top, this layer. So it gets kind of heavy right around the heart, solar plexus. Just like paint being poured over a balloon as you let this energy seep down. Then we're going to jump out to the 15th layer. We're going to start at the bottom where this 1% energy lives and hangs out. Then we're going to jump out to the 25th layer, start at the bottom. More of those fear entities. If you want to use a black circle flame and just let those flames rise up through this layer, you can do that. Okay, great. We're going to jump out to the 50th layer. The 50th layer is where the watchers hang out. So let's use a rainbow circle of fire as we let this rainbow circle rise up through this 50th layer. Excellent. And then also the 60th layer wants to be cleared. So this is the layer of the divine feminine. It's a newly discovered layer that I've discovered. And so that's not to say that there's only 60 layers. There's an infinite number of layers, just that like there's an infinite number of rings. At some point, we're going to break through to infinity, but we're not there yet. So in the 60th layer, this divine feminine, we're going to use this emerald flame, use a big circle out to the 60th layer, and then just let these flames rise up. So it's purifying this layer for the divine feminine to really shine and step forward in her power, in her knowing, in her great heart energy. Yes, energy of grace comes up as well. All right. And then we're going to clear our circle of reciprocity. So that's the energy of giving and receiving, masculine and feminine. So we're going to start at that feminine heart, and we're going to bring it up to that right shoulder, the masculine right shoulder. We're going to bring that energy all the way out that right arm. So as we're bringing that energy out, so that's great. You guys are great givers, so that's good. Put your hands together like you're holding a small ball in your hands. And we're going to allow the energy to flow through the palms and through the fingertips. So as that energy is coming into the left receiving hand, left hand here, this is my left hand. I don't know if it's reversed in the video, but we're going to start allowing this receiving energy to come into our left receiving hand, feminine. And we're going to let go of control, and we're going to surrender. And we're going to let that energy in. So you're up to about the elbow now. Keep breathing and receiving, surrendering, not controlling. So as we're coming up to the shoulder, down through the front and back of the heart. So there's your circle. Out the right arm, in the left, through the throat, through that sixth crown, through all of your rings. And we're going to make sure that, let's see, I'm going to just take an average of the rings that you have above your head. So I know there's a wide range of people here. We're going to take the average. It's about 50 rings. Let's see if there's also that many rooms in the heart. Yes. And then we want to make sure that these two are connected. So when we start creating, so all of our dreams, desires, and intentions live in our rings. So when those are connected to our heart, all the rooms in our heart, and we're creating and operating from that level, all of our creations become heartfelt and very connected and just way more gratifying, and everything, it takes on a big difference when our creations are really from our heart. So connected, and so it looks like they're all connected, so that's also very great. Let's measure a few things. Let's measure the balance of masculine and feminine energies now. So the feminine, which was at 15, let's see where it is now. 100%. Let's make sure that the masculine is also at 100%. Yes, so both masculine and feminine energies are 100% now. So now they're in balance. Our giving and receiving is also in balance. Let's see about our control energy. That's some of the new energies that I'm measuring: lack, control, sacrifice. So the energy of control is still at about 50%. Let's bring that down so that you're, instead of controlling everything, that you allow more possibilities. When we're controlling, it's like we have our radar screen up, and this is how much we can manage. When we stop controlling, the radar screen gets bigger, more possibilities get open, and like when you've probably had this happen before. Maybe you could raise your hand or let me know if this has happened to you before, where you thought things should go a certain way and you're really trying really hard, and then to make things go a certain way. And then when you just finally surrendered and let God, let spirit, let the universe create for you, so many more bigger things happen than what you could have ever even imagined. And so that's what happens when we stop controlling and we let down the radar screen gets big, and all kinds of possibilities become open. So let's release more of this control energy. I'm going to go to the sixth chakra, out to that third layer. This relates to it relates to your feeling powerful. So when we're in control, we feel powerful, right? It's when we surrender that almost feels weak, right? There's a fine balance there, and this is part of the navigating through a lot of these energies, is when we can really learn to trust in spirit and surrender and stop controlling, that we can really step into our power. So let's our true power, not this false illusion, masculine energy running through women power. So there's a control being up in the sixth chakra that's keeping us in this energy of thinking that we need to control everything. You've probably had an out of control maybe upbringing. So use a black flame right in that sixth chakra. We're going to transmute this energy that wants to control everything. Maybe there's some of you like that out there who are not my term, but a term often given to people like that, or control freaks. I used to be one, so I know all too well. Let's see, control. Very good. That cleared that energy of control. So that's where it is for the time being. But learning how to master your energy and keeping your energy clear and flowing every day will help to keep these energies in place. The energy of sacrifice, let's measure that as well, because that's part of why these masculine, feminine energies, give and receive, get so out of balance, is we don't believe we can have both. We can only have one or the other, but like we have to sacrifice one to get the other. We can't have both. So that energy of sacrifice, also at 50%. We're going to go to the root chakra, out to that third layer, where there's another control being, or two or three. Let's use another black flame right in the root as we clear this energy of feeling like we have to sacrifice. Yeah, maybe you give so much, but you don't feel like you can replenish and take care of yourself, because that doesn't play into the sacrifice thing. Once we eliminate the sacrifice energy, it's going to be easier to take care of yourself. Great job. That cleared the sacrifice. While we're at it, might as well clear the lack energy as well. It's only about 15%. Let's also go to the root, out to that third layer, and clear this energy, that like not enough energy. That's a lack energy. We're just going to dump all that down the grounding cord. Okay, great. Lack is now at 0. So we're also going to measure the energy of anger, which is at 50%. Let's go to the 6th chakra, out to that third layer. So this is where you have this belief that you need your anger to get stuff done. Actually, it's a lot easier for people to hear you when you drop down into your heart and you speak from your heart, those unmistakable boundaries, instead of always passing those words through that angry filter. It makes it really hard. Maybe you notice how people kind of tune you out. So that's the anger. Okay. Let's also go into the heart. You have some anger that you turn inward. So you're not only using this anger to go outward to maybe set boundaries, but you also use it to beat yourself up. Let's clear that. That's not very useful. There's a control being in there. So let's use a black flame. It's keeping a lot of this anger in place. Ayamaetia mokupuyo. Naetia apea akine atuyo moya. Okay. There's also some at the root, out to that third layer. So let's clear that as well. Just drop all that anger down the grounding cord. So we can move into the weekend full of joy and being able to give and receive. Super important. Okay, anger is now at still 15%. See, this is the beauty of being able to measure things, is then you know you got it all, because it starts little and then a little bit more that you didn't notice, and then it's bigger, and then the next thing you know, you're just annoyed and pissed off. So we catch it when it's little. So we're going to go back down to the root, 2nd layer. Let's get that control being with this big black flame. Moya aye ni akaye a papa no kuboya. Anger is now 0. So notice how you're feeling now compared to when we first started this. Maybe some of you can let us know how you're feeling. This is being done from London with people all over the world. And just to show how effective this is why those of you who are here keep coming back, is because you know it's very helpful. But for those who are new, it's helpful for you to let them know, or even if you're new, if you notice some shifts and changes, are you feeling any different now than when we started? So hopefully many are feeling calmer and maybe a little more clarity, more balanced as we step into this summer solstice energy. All right. Well, I hope all of you go out and enjoy your weekend. And for those of you who are curious about your own calibrations, be sure to get your temperature report and get out in nature. Find that balance between giving and receiving. Make sure that you allow yourself to receive. We have to fill ourselves up before we keep giving. So make sure you do that. And here's Smart Operating Solutions says they feel lighter and more open. Great. Thank you for sharing. Yes, and you're welcome, Janya. And thank you, all of you, for showing up today. Next week, I'll be doing a live broadcast from Ibiza. Stay tuned, though. It may change the time or the day. I'm not quite certain where it's landing with the program I'll be doing while I'm there with my mentor, Masajati. So be sure to pay attention. Click those bell notifications. You'll know when we come on live. All right. Yes, you're so welcome. And thanks and gratitude for all of you being here. And we will see you next week. So go off and enjoy your weekend, and sending so much love. Namaste.